Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel and good morning. Welcome to another video. If this is your first time watching me, hi, I'm Jamila and I love all things beauty. I love all things makeup, I love all things skincare, and I especially love sharing my tips and tricks for how to find high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I would absolutely love if you would consider subscribing and joining the fam. Okay, so I'm finally doing a video I've been dying to do for some time now. But I don't know why. I've never really got a chance to dive into it. But if you've been watching me, you probably may not have known this, but my most watched video on my channel is actually my Good Molecules video. I do a lot of makeup, primarily makeup, but that is still like my top watched video. And I've, since I created those first two videos, I have incorporated some other products into my routine, but I still use Good Molecules really frequently. So I thought it'd be great for me to come back and do like a 1 year later, how am I feeling about these products, give you guys, some thoughts on how they work, how I've incorporated them into my routine, that fun jazz. So for today's video, I'm really going to do a 1 year later, how do I feel about Good Molecules, what are the products I like, what are the products I don't like. And I still use it pretty frequently. I'll actually insert a picture so you can see my backup drawer, which has so much Good Molecules products in there because it's such a good brand. Spoiler, if you were wondering. So let's just dive into the video, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it up into a couple parts, right? I'm going to start by telling you guys my skin type because I just want to make sure you all understand what my skin type is like in case you were looking at it in case you were thinking about picking it up for yourself and you have similar skin to mine. Quick disclaimer, I am not a dermatologist, I'm not an esthetician, I have no professional expertise in skincare, none whatsoever. So take what I say with a grain of salt. This is just my personal experience with how these products interact with my skin. All right, so just for background, I'm a medium deep complexion. I have a very yellow golden undertone. Now I'm staying my complexion because I do think that there is a difference between deep skin, dark skin, and lighter skin. So I just wanted to start there. In terms of my skin type, I do tend to have oily combination skin, mainly leaning more on the oily side, but I say a combination because I'm also acne prone and that causes me to have a lot of dry spots. So I will get some dry patches in my face, on various pieces of my face because of the acne medications that I am prescribed. And I want to flag that I have prescribed acne medications, which do, in my opinion, control the bulk of why my skin looks the way it does. If you have problems and you can't afford to, I definitely recommend that you go see a dermatologist to get some of those prescription products because in my opinion there's only so much that over-the-counter products can do, like Good Molecules and The Ordinary and Tatcha and all those things. There's only so much they can do, and you can take your skin way further if you get sort of professional recommendations and prescriptions. So oily combination skin, acne prone. And lastly, my skin does look different from the first video I did because I did have some DPNs. I know in my culture we call them moles. I don't know what everybody else calls them, but apparently the technical name for it is DPNs, and I'll put in what it actually, the acronym means. And I had some of those removed, so my skin is a lot clearer. There aren't any of those small black spots because I had those removed, lasered off and cut off. So burnt off and cut off. So that is why my skin looks slightly different. And I've been really enjoying the way my skin looks right now. I also have some hypopigmentation. I've always had lighter under eyes for some reason, but I'm working on getting a more even skin tone with a new routine for my dermatologist. So I just pulled up the Good Molecules website. I'm just going to scroll through all of the products and talk about them individually. I haven't used every single product from Good Molecules, but I've used most of them. So we're just going to go through and I'm going to talk about each product one by one by one. Okay, so the first product is the Discoloration Correcting Serum. Now, this is a product that I tried the first iteration of, and I didn't think that it did anything special. Quite frankly, I felt like I didn't see much of an improvement in the hypopigmentation or the discoloration in my skin. So I wasn't super impressed with this. However, I will say that I know that they have reformulated this with a higher percentage or concentration of whatever the active ingredient is. So this is one that I do want to try again to see if it's more effective because I did not like the first one. I felt like it didn't do much for my skin. The next product is the Niacinamide Brightening Toner. This is my holy grail from Good Molecules. I have purchased so many bottles of this. If you watched any of my empties video, you know that I have, it's usually one of the empties in my empties videos. So it is the best product that I think I've tried from Good Molecules. If I had to recommend one product, this would be the product that I would recommend. And I still feel the same way about this today. I'm not currently using this because I'm trying to go through a couple other toners that I have in my collection, but it takes all of me to not use this. Like, I'm trying to make sure that those other toners don't go bad. So I kind of, you know, put this on pause for a little bit. I do have one of it in my backup drawer, so I can't wait for those others to finish because I am noticing a huge difference. When I use the Niacinamide Brightening Toner, I will say I do feel like it does brighten. My skin just looks a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more luscious, a little bit more glowy, but not glowy in that I'm looking oily or super shiny. So I've really enjoyed this product. The Yerba Mate Wake Up Eye Gel is the next product that I want to talk about. I didn't like this. I felt like it was a little greasy. I felt like it was a little thick and it did not sink into the skin really well. I used this at night because it was too heavy in my opinion to use during the day, even though it is a wake up eye gel. I just wasn't sold on this formula. I still don't think I am sold on the formula because it felt heavy. It felt like a night cream. It didn't feel like an eye cream that I would use in the morning. Next is the Hyaluronic Acid Serum. I really liked this serum. Now, hyaluronic acid is something that I always include in my routine. I try to get a lighter version for during the day before I apply my makeup, and then I try to get a thicker, heavier serum at night to really help my skin be luscious and juicy when I go to bed, so it wakes up really plump in the morning. And as we're going into fall now, I'm hyper aware of like super hydrating my skin because with the heat coming up from the vents and all of that stuff, everything's just dry. Everything just gets drier in the fall and winter. So I am always looking for a nice thick cream, serum, everything. This is a really lightweight serum. It's one that I felt really comfortable and feel really comfortable using both in the AM and in the PM. And I really like this. I think that compared to the ordinary serum, which was a little bit heavy, a little bit too thick to use both times, this one is a little bit more versatile, and I thought it did a really good job at sinking into the skin and leaving me feeling really hydrated. The next serum, the Niacinamide Serum, I think this is just okay. I don't think that this has the same effect as the Niacinamide Brightening Toner. If I had to recommend one or the other, I would definitely say the toner over the serum. But I do think that they work well together. You know, it's like a 1-2 punch, hook, cross. So I think you can use it together. But if you had to pick one, or if you just wanted to pick one, I think the toner gave me a much better brightening effect. And I preferred the toner over the serum. But the serum's not bad. Once I actually was shifting to other toners, I incorporated the serum by itself to see if it would, you know, help with me not having the niacinamide toner in there. And I didn't think it did a ton, but it was nice to have. And I will say generally all of the serums that Good Molecules have are very, very lightweight in that they sink into the skin really well, and it doesn't feel like heavy or that it just sits on top of the skin, which is what you want from your skincare, right? You don't want it to just sit on your skin. You want it to seep in and those active ingredients to be really working deep in the skin. I don't understand why this car is so loud. Like, sir, you need to go see a mechanic. Okay, next up, the Overnight Exfoliating Treatment. Now, I do think that this is like a lactic acid treatment, which I have just come to fall in love with because I've been using the Sunday Riley lactic acid, and oh my gosh, I am usually not one to recommend super expensive skincare because I think the drugstore does it really well. But that Sunday Riley lactic acid, it's such a visible difference when you go to bed and when you wake up in the morning. Now, the exfoliating treatment, I feel neither here nor there about. I don't think that I've used this long enough for me to have a really great opinion on how effective this is. So I'm going to keep using this. I have like 2 backups of this. But I just don't feel like I have a good enough sense of this because this is one of the products I've been using the least out of all of the Good Molecules products that I've tried. Next, the Caffeine Energizing Hydrogel Eye Patches. I have a tub of this, but I haven't used it yet. I have a bunch of eye patches, and I've never really reached for them in my routine because usually I'm late. and I don't get a chance to put it on. Like, I am not the type of person in the morning that gets up and has this like luxurious getting ready experience. Like, I don't just sit there with my skincare and my eye patches. I'm usually late. So I actually have had this for some months now and haven't tried it. I do need to pull it out, put it on my desk, and try to use it. I also really like using eye patches at night when I do like a face mask, because I tend to multi-mask a lot of the times, in that I don't just use one face mask, because I know that different areas of my skin have very different needs. So underneath my eyes, if I'm doing a clay mask, I'll never put it really close to my under eyes because it's just too drying. So I will tend to do either a hydrating mask like the First Aid Beauty oatmeal mask, or like an eye patch to give me a little hydration, while the clay mask works on the periphery and like in my T-zone where I tend to have like oiliness and I need to like pull out some impurities. So I need to pull it out. I need to use it. Really haven't used it. The Daily Brightening Serum also is not a product I've ever tried. I wonder if this is a new product. I feel like I've never seen this before. It's only $8, so maybe I might pick it up to try it. It looks like it might be like a vitamin C type of thing. Interesting. I'm not sure what the active ingredient is for this. Beta-arbutin. Yeah, I think that's a vitamin C, right? But I've never tried a product, so I can't talk about that. Okay, the Pineapple Exfoliating Powder. This is one that I talked about a lot in my previous videos. I really like this. Don't get me wrong, it smells horrendous. The smell of it, it's a lot, but it is a wash-off treatment. So if you worried about it lingering on your face, it doesn't, because you use it, you exfoliate, you wash it off. And this I found to be the most gentle physical exfoliant that I've tried. And I've tried the Dermalogica powder exfoliant, which is honestly, they're both the same thing. They're basically dupes for each other. But I think that the Good Molecules is actually more gentle. I feel like this one, if you have really sensitive skin or you're worried about micro tears, this one, I definitely felt like I got a good exfoliating experience without feeling like I was rubbing my skin raw and without feeling like it was really harsh. Now, it does take a little bit of a learning curve with this because it is a powder and then you have to add water to it to make sure it's activated. So there is a little bit of trial and error to figure out the powder to water ratio, because if you don't add enough water, then it is a little bit harsh on your skin. If you add too little water, then it feels like it's not doing anything. So you just kind of have to play around with it a little bit to figure out water to powder ratio. But amazing, super gentle, just a great physical exfoliator. And I personally like chemical exfoliators, but I do think it is important to do a physical exfoliator. And especially because I would get dry patches from my acne meds, like I needed that physical exfoliation to get those dry patches off, and that did it really well without leaving my skin red and raw. Okay, the silicone-free priming moisturizer. This is still one that is kind of like hit or miss for me. Like, it's a good moisturizer. It's not a great primer. It's a mediocre primer, if you know what I mean. I think it was trying to do too much, right? I personally like my products to be either one thing. Either you're a primer or you're a moisturizer. And they tried to squish both into here. And it's definitely more of a moisturizer than a primer, because I felt like it didn't fill in my pores. It didn't give me any blurring or anything. And it did an okay job at moisturizing. No, it's not the deepest, most hydrating moisturizer. So for me, it's definitely not one that I like in the winter times. But I realized that once it became spring and summer and it was getting real hot outside and I was about to be like way more oily, it worked really well. And it was a moisturizer that I reached for very, very often. But I would still go in with a primer after that. I found that in my mind, it just ended up being a moisturizer and I still had to go in with a primer. But overall, I think it's an okay product. It's not my favorite moisturizer, and it's definitely not a primer that I reach for. But it's a good primer, it's a good moisturizer for somebody with oily skin or for like the summertime. There's this BHA Clarified Gel Cream. Never used it before. It's supposed to be for irritated, blemish-prone skin. Don't know. Never tried it, but it looks good. So let's move to the Rose Water Daily Cleansing Gel. This is an okay product. It's a nice product. It's a very gentle gel cleanser. And I think it would work for most people. My rub with it is that I kind of like my cleansers to feel a little bit stripping, where it makes me feel just a little bit more confident that when I wash my face off, I've gotten everything off. And I know, again, personal preference, I don't think most people want that. And I felt like this one did a really good job at cleaning my skin. and leaving it hydrated. So hydrated that I was almost like, did I get everything off? Is it really clean? And I also felt like I had to use a lot of this cleanser to get what I needed it to do. It's definitely not one that I'm going to repurchase. I do think I have one more bottle of it, but I'm not going to repurchase this. This isn't going to be a staple in my collection because I thought that it was just an okay cleanser, and I prefer more of those like foaming type cleansers that I feel like I just can rub in and get everything out. The Instant Cleansing Balm. Never tried this, actually. I probably should because I always go in with a cleansing balm to get rid of my makeup. It's like I do a double cleanse. And I use a cleansing balm to get rid of the makeup, and then I go in with an actual cleanser. But I've never tried their balm, so maybe I'll give that a try. Super Peptide Serum. Never tried it. The Clarify and Cleanse Bar. This is a really nice bar if that's how you tend to go about your skincare routine. I have never been one to use like a bar of soap. So this felt and was pretty impractical for me. However, if you have acne prone skin or issues with chest and back knee, I've had that before, and I found that this works really well if you have those issues. So in that case, I was able to use it, but it's definitely not something that I would like use, that I use pretty frequently, just because of the actual format of this. Like if they took this and turned it into a liquid soap, a foam, a jet, whatever, that I could squeeze or pump out of a tube, I would like this a lot more. It's literally just the format that it isn't like a bar. The next product that they have is this Gentle Retinol Cream. I do have this in my backup drawer, but I haven't tried it yet. And I'm, still kind of going back and forth on that because I do have a prescription retinol. I actually have 2 prescription retinols that I got from my dermatologist. So because I use those, it definitely feels like that is not appropriate for me to bring into my skincare routine. If you don't have prescription retinols and you want to give this a try, I think it might be a good option. But for me, I'm not sure if I'm, how I would incorporate this because I already have retinols from my dermatologist. Oh, this is new. I haven't seen this before. So they have a discoloration correcting body treatment. I'm gonna have to look into this. I don't have a lot of discoloration on my body anymore. I used to have really bad discoloration on my chest and back because of the acne that I had on my chest and back. And I think I don't really have a ton of that, but I will get like little flare-ups here and there. So this might actually be something good for me to pick up and try. Okay. Especially like, I'm thinking about next spring and summer when it's like skins out season. So yeah, I might actually be really interested in that. Squalene oil. I think I tried this one and I thought that it was just okay. Squalene is really, really good at if you have dry skin and adding a little bit of hydration. I tend to not like adding oils because I do lean on the oily side, but I feel like I remember trying this and it sank into the skin really well, but don't quote me on that. Then there's an ultra hydrating facial oil. I have never tried this one. I know I haven't tried this one. Yeah, it looks like that, and the Squalene might actually be really good for folks that have pretty dry skin. There's also this vitamin C booster powder. Never tried that. They have a pure cold pressed rosehip seed oil. I think this is the one that I tried. I tried one of these oils, and based on the fact that I could barely remember it, it must not have done anything. So I'm not sure which one. Anyways, moving along, there is also this Glycolic exfoliating toner. I'm actually using this right now. I tend to go in with a Glycolic acid toner at the end of the day. So I would start my day with the Niacinamide toner and then end with the Glycolic toner. I've been using the Ordinary's Glycolic acid toner. And quite frankly, between the two of these, I prefer the Ordinary's over this one. I think the Ordinary is a little bit stronger, a little bit more potent. Which you have to like it, for some people it's just too strong, and the Glycolic toner from Good Molecules is definitely gentler, so if you have really sensitive skin, you might want to just start with this one. It's not bad. I'm just saying that between the two, I prefer the Ordinaries. And I'm just scrolling through the rest here. There's bok choy oil for dry skin. Never tried that. Hyaluronic acid boosting essence. This is new. I've never seen this before. I might want to give this a try, especially now in fall. They also added this acne foaming cleanser. I didn't pick this up because it is pretty much salicylic acid, and the type of acne that I have is just not treated with salicylic acid. So I get cystic acne. It's those sort of like deep, you know, bumps and lumps underneath the skin, and salicylic acid is pretty much ineffective against that. So I never picked this up, and it's definitely not one I would try. However, if you do have those more traditional like white acne spots, you might want to give it a try. And then the last product here is their Shea Mineral Sunscreen. This is a new product that they just released. I really want to try this because from looking at the campaign videos, it looks like it works on a lot of skin tones without making anybody look casket ready, which is perfect. I look for two things when it comes to sunscreen. Is it ashy? Like, is it going to give me a white cast? And two, is it oily? Because a lot of times they tend to do both. So I'm really looking forward to picking that up and giving it a try. And honestly, that's pretty much it. I hope that this was somewhat helpful if you were thinking about getting into Good Molecules. You know, personally, for me, I like to shop my makeup luxury and my skincare drugstore because I do find that drugstore and some of these non-luxury skincare brands are just as effective and sometimes even more effective than the luxury skincare brands, which tend to have a lot of fragrance in them. And what I really like about Good Molecules is that it's simple. Like, it's a simple formula. It doesn't have any extra fluff, any extra, you know, things that a lot of other brands tend to do, like put fragrance in their stuff, and it's effective. I was like so surprised at how effective the Good Molecules skincare line is for the price. And it just shows that you don't have to spend a lot of money. Like I said, not a dermatologist, not an esthetician. So if you have specific skincare issues or if you have specific questions, please go see a professional. Do not just trust people like me and others on the internet who have no expertise in this. I am 100% speaking from my own personal experience, and this has been a 10+ year journey for me. I have been through multiple dermatologists. I have tried multiple products, and my skin changes like with the seasons. It changes as I get older, so I have to continue to learn my skin and adapt to make sure that I'm giving it the right things that it needs to stay fresh and healthy looking. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Leave a comment down below letting me know if you've tried Good Molecules, if there are specific products that you're interested in, or if you have specific questions about my sort of skincare Good Molecules journey. Leave it down below. I really love talking about skincare and nerding out about skincare because I've come far, y'all. If you watch my previous videos, there are pictures of what my skin used to look like before, and here we are now. Anyways, so like I said, like, comment, and if you want more content from me, go ahead and subscribe. There's a little button right there. I have a ton of videos coming, a ton of videos filmed that I still have to edit. But yeah, that's it, guys. I hope folks have a good one, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.